Hello there again. Huh, what you looking for? Looking in your basket of old memories and nostalgia? You might find something you like. Maybe something even useful. What's this? Ah, the horse you rode in on. The 10mm. The staple of Fallout. Your first gun. On both occasions for Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. Reliable. Excellent. Powerful. Accurate as well. That's what all embodies this gun. Looks a little bit on the rusty side, and it's a bit neglected. Tell you what, give me a few minutes. I'll show you what you can be done with this gun. Don't throw it away just yet. Maybe your first gun, but it certainly isn't your last. But doesn't mean it's useless. It still has plenty of use in this old horse. We just gotta give it a few little makeover, facelift, new paint job maybe. It'll be just fine. Trust me on this. There's still plenty of use in this gun. You could probably use it well up until level 30, easily. Now, at a plain firing range, we can see this gun's very accurate. From the hip, it's hitting its target every time. You don't have to ever worry about the accuracy of this gun. As long as you're staying still anyway. Like on most other cases. And down the sights, just as good. Like, I wish every gun was like this. I wish everyone, because this recoil is like nothing. Alright, but keep in mind before I start talking about damage or anything else, I do have all my perks leveled out, so you'll see the full damage value of this gun. So, at our little trusty workbench, we can see we actually have a couple of options to us in terms of categories. A little too many barrels, to be honest. Too many, like, long and short, but we're just gonna go with the long barrel, of course. Because when you make a long barrel, it reminds us of the gun it once was. Which is very nice. Now, to be honest, all of these pretty much improve it altogether. Long and light ported may be the best, but you can always go with the long one, make it look like the gun we love from Fallout 3. Now for grips, to be honest, there's the ones with lack of options. Just go with a sharpshooter grip, unless you really want that comfort wood look from the menu, because you never see it when you equipped it. Magazine, again, a bit of a no-brainer. You either want a large magazine or a large quick eject. If you have your gun nut rank, that's what you'll get. And for sights, now, even though there's a couple of options, I don't like the recon scope. I prefer a reflex sight, because the recon scope, it puts everything in black and white. And in a lot of situations, especially in downtown, that's a little hard on the eyes. You can easily use it. So I'll choose a reflex sight. Now, for muzzle, we could go with a muzzle breaker and compensator, but instead we're going to go with suppressor. Because this weapon's kind of perfect for it. It won't really won't really affect the range, because you're not going to fire that long with it. And not to mention, it'll cover any recoil for what we do with the receiver. And next, when we do with the receiver, we here choose two things. We can keep it semi-automatic the way it is, or we can turn it to a wholly automatic gun. Now, you also have the armor piercing option. Now, I'm not sure if that even does much. I'll test it later in this video. I've never actually tested the armor piercing capabilities of this gun. So, in terms of automatic or semi-automatic, both damage values are not affected by commando. So even if you go automatic, it's not affected by the commando perk. It's affected by your pistol or your gunslinger perk. So I'll take automatic. Alright, the shooting range. Man, I wish all automatic guns were this compact and this accurate. Look at that grouping. Excellent. As long as you fire in bursts, you have nothing to worry about the accuracy. You'll always keep it on target. It's so easy. And then the sights, even better. It's like the no recoil at all. That silencer does half the work for you. Excellent. Because if every gun that did this, it would be too easy. It's like the epitome of perfection with this gun. But if you go full auto, it can be a bit much. And so, we took the old horse, the old loyal one, gave it a facelift, a new makeover, we turn to something quite more powerful. The damage value isn't bigger because it's automatic. If it was semi-automatic, we'd almost double the damage. So 10mm. You thought this thing was obsolete. Nah, it's never obsolete. This thing you take quite far into the game. Now, with that silencer, you'd be glad to know that it works quite well. Again, silencers don't make you invisible, but they'll make you the location unknown to the enemy as you're firing upon them. But when you do need to go guns blazing, you'd be glad to know it'll be reliable. You don't have to worry about it ever. Point blank and at range, it will do you good. At point blank range though, stick to hip fire, of course. Now, in terms of multiple opponents, you can easily transition from multiple opponents easily. This gun's recoil, like I said, is non-existent, so you won't have any trouble with using it at all. And in terms of firepower, it's still plenty good. Even though that's only 30, that's still plenty good for most enemies. Mirelurks, super mutants, raiders, clearly. I wouldn't go fighting people in power armor, but you get the idea. And that suppressor, trust me, you'd be glad to have it. Because you can go from the weakest enemies to the strongest in a heartbeat. When that happens, you don't want to be seen. Okay, before I wrap everything up here, I did try the armor piercing option. Now I'll be seeing how well this works. Never really tried it before, but we'll see. But I noticed one thing though, damage was not increased. So I took something with the most armor, a Brotherhood Paladin. Now, in terms of damage, I didn't really accomplish too much, but I noticed one thing, you could strip the armor off that guy quick. In terms of damage, not really there. Multiple clips, and I didn't even get to kill him in the end. It's a bad idea fighting the brother on top of that. So, to fight something more natural, I chose a Mirelurk. And as you see, I am unable to pierce the top. The armor piercing is superficial. Not existent. Maybe it does do more damage with an opponents with more armor. But to be honest, I'm not really seeing it. So I really can't give that approval. So stick with a plain automatic or semi-automatic. Don't bother with armor piercing. It's garbage. Alright. Okay, from pros and cons for the 10mm. Pros. We've got decent damage, good fire rate, excellent accuracy, very compact, quick reload, easy access to, easy ammunition access, and pretty much that's good for pros. So now for cons. We've got bolt magazines not large enough for fully automatic purposes. We've got, well, the armor piercing doesn't actually work. And it lacks endgame potential. What you mean by that is pretty much you wouldn't take this against a Deathclaw. So there you have it, 10mm pistol. Box full of memories, and still could be very useful for your position. So don't throw it away just yet. Trust me, that gun will keep it going for a lot longer than you think. Only when you probably get your hands on a very powerful 44, maybe some plasma weaponry, should you really discard it. But until then, it's still a very useful weapon. Thanks for watching.